Hello, hello, hello. This is another episode of the Wow Lifestyle Show. Today we are talking about your blood group and your diet. And this episode is dedicated to Eric Darko of Nestle Ghana Limited. In fact, he requested for this topic to be discussed. My hair, makeup, and nails were beautifully done by AJ Hair and Makeovers. You can find them at East Legon, Oponglo. They're in the same building as EcoBank, and you see their numbers running on the screen. We record at Aliza Hotel. All you get at Aliza is affordable luxury. My beautiful dress was designed by Loretta Unisex Designs. You can find them at Osukukumlemle and East Legon, and you see their number running on the screens as well. We are going for a quick break. When we come back, I'll introduce my expert to you.
Memory, coordination, confidence. You put more into your baby's development than you think. And now you can put more into every mealtime. Cerelac combines iron, vitamin C, and probiotics to support physical and mental development. Nestle's Cerelac, now with Iron Plus. Big nutrition for small tummies.
Introducing the new Nivea Dry Impact and Dry Comfort Deodorant. Now with quick dry effect and longer lasting fragrance. Guaranteed to keep you feeling dry and fresh all day, no matter the heat. Proven 48-hour protection and longer lasting fragrance with the new dry deodorants from Nivea.
Welcome back. We are talking about your blood group and your diet, and with me here is Nana Nania J. She's a clinical dietitian, and she's going to help us understand what our blood group has to do with our diet. Is it necessary to do a particular diet because of our blood group? I've never done that all my life, and I think I'm fine. So Nana is going to tell us more about that. Nana, you're welcome.
Thank you.
So blood group. When we say blood group, what is the blood group?
Within that liquid that you see, when you look under a microscope, you see tiny bits and pieces of cells. We call them cells. So one of them is the red blood cells. Now your blood group is inherited depending on which one your parents had. As your body is being formed, genetics determines which of the blood types you are going to inherit. But there are certain things on the surface of the red blood cells that are called antigens. These are protein bodies that we do not see with our eyes. But these antigens, we have the A antigen, we have the B antigen. So these ones, depending on which one you have, we determine the blood type. Okay. So for those with the type A antigen, we say they have blood type A. For those with type B, they have blood type B. There's a group that does not have any of these antigens. They are the type O. Okay. And then we have the AB, which have both A and B surface antigens. Okay. There's also another thing that you would see, which is either a plus or a minus with the blood type. Now, that is the resource factor, which is also another kind of antigen. So after you've inherited your A or your B, or you don't inherit any and you have an O, or you've inherited both, so you have an AB, when you have the resource antigen, then we add a plus to your blood type. So that gives us about 8 different kinds of the blood type.
So how does the resource factor affect our blood group?
Well, the resource, basically, the importance comes when it comes to childbirth, for instance, because when you have antigens, we also have what we call antibodies. Antibodies are the things that fight against diseases or foreign matter in the body. So your resource antigens are supposed to fight against certain specific kinds of antigens. If you have that resource factor, if your blood is mixed with someone who doesn't have the resource factor, so let's say you pick an O positive blood and you transfuse it into an O negative person. Because that O negative person doesn't have the resource factor, his body will mount a response against the resource factor in the blood you've introduced, and that could be fatal.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you mentioned that it comes in during childbirth. I don't think that has been clarified.
Okay, so when I say it comes in, it's more important when it comes to childbirth, because let's say for women who are resource positive, if your child, depending on who your husband is, your husband may be resource negative, so your child may inherit resource negative blood. So if you are
So
a
let's talk about the husband and the wife.
Okay.
So what resource factors are more compatible? Like when I say compatible, will not be fatal for the
for
baby.
the child.
Yes.
Once the woman is resource positive, she's not going to mount any response. So whether the man is negative or positive and the child becomes negative or positive, she has the resource factor. It's like, let's look
So
at it like
it depends on the woman, sort of.
Yes,
So
it depends
once
on
the
the
woman
woman.
is positive, irrespective of the blood type of the husband, the baby
It's
is
okay.
safe. But when the woman is negative, that's when the
Even then, at birth, the child is injected with a component that prevents the body from mounting that immune response.
Okay.
Years ago, there was nothing like that, so such babies would die.
Is this being monitored during antenatal?
It's done.
Okay.
It's done. I know you are
Alright.
thinking about a setting in Ghana.
Well,
fortunately, we have it. Even
we have
in,
it,
in
and
the,
well, maybe we are not told that it's being done.
No, they
We are
wouldn't-
not
yeah,
conscious
yeah.
of it.
It's a routine thing.
Because
so
I don't remember that I had that test.
So maybe on your
During my first
maternal and child health records book,
I'll go and check.
they'll write it. They'll write it boldly.
I remember
Whether
for
you
my
are
baby, I think he was tested after delivery, but for
you.
I don't recall.
Maybe you are resource positive.
I am.
Yeah, so
I'm O
then,
positive.
But for those who are resource negative, they write it on that book that they have, so that as soon as the child is born, they inject the child.
Okay.
So that response is not mounted.
How easy is it to test one's blood type?
Oh, you just go to a lab, any lab around, and then they'll take a blood sample and they'll check. It doesn't take long. It doesn't take much. It's not expensive.
Is it a rapid test? Do you get the results the same day?
The same day. It just takes some minutes, or you should get the results the same day.
Okay. So to our main topic, what is the blood type diet?
Okay. So we've looked at what the blood type is. Now there's a naturopath. That means a doctor in natural medicine. He's called Peter Diadamo. So somewhere in 1996, he came up with a theory that there are certain proteins in food that we eat. They are called lectins. He came up with a theory that when you eat certain foods, these lectins react with your blood and can cause your blood to agglutinate. When we say agglutination, sort of clumping together. So it becomes like you have gari, you add water and you get eba or something. So that is the foundation of the blood type diet. But this diet was actually started by his father, who couldn't really carry it through, but he took it up and then really put it out there. So the main things with the blood type diet, what it's offers is that you are going to get good digestion or better digestion. You are going to lose weight and you are going to be healthy generally. So he groups the different types according to the AB antigens. Type
Before
A.
you go on, he thought that the lectins are problematic.
Yes.
For all blood groups or for certain?
So
blood
he says
types?
that certain lectins would react with certain blood groups, which has been proven, but in raw state. So if you take something like lima beans, they are some tiny green beans. They would react with the blood of a type A person when the beans is raw. But we don't eat beans raw. We would soak the beans, we would cook it. And
by the end of the
process, the lectins are broken down anyway. And then for the other kind of lectins, they are not specific to any blood type. So once you are human and you have blood flowing, certain lectins are going to react with your blood anyway. But there's also the issue of dose, how much you are eating. Some of these things are done with very high concentrations of the lectins, which we usually don't eat anyway. And because we don't eat just one thing, when you are eating a meal, you have a lot of other things. You have nutrients interacting. So you wouldn't have lectins on their own surging up in your blood to the extent that it causes your blood to agglutinate.
Besides that process too.
Yes. Besides, let's say for type O, for instance, or type A, who are supposed to avoid corn. How many Ghanaians have eaten kenke and their blood has agglutinated and you found them in hospitals,
So if this is the situation, what prompted him to come up with this?
That was a theory. In science, we have what we call postulation. Anyone can postulate. I can sit here and say something right now, until someone actually does research to disprove what I've said. It's my opinion. So it also brings the issue of taking facts and not just taking people's opinions. Something has to be researched into to have evidence backing it.
Okay.
So the blood type diet...
Will you say that he has no evidence?
It doesn't have substantial amounts of evidence. So studies that have been done that have sort of gone to support it were skewed in the way they did their sampling, or so they are not reliable studies.
Okay.
If you need a study that you can rely on, we call it a meta-analysis. You have to have several people doing several studies in different populations. You can't just sit in America and say something that it works for the whole world. It must be researched among Black people, researched among Asian people.
Right.
Then we pull all these data together, and then we can draw the conclusion whether what you are saying really is true.
Right.
As it stands, there's nothing like that to support the blood
Right.
type diet.
All right. So we were going through the blood type diets, and I
What it
interrupted.
is.
So let's go back to
Okay.
that.
So with the different antigens that we've talked about, or the different blood types based on the A, B antigens, he says that people with certain blood groups should avoid certain foods. So for type A, he says that they should be sort of vegetarian in their diets. So they don't eat meat, they don't eat any animal sources of protein. Yours is just to eat plant-based. Then for type B, he switches it
Plant-based,
around.
but they do eggs, like poultry.
No, they don't
eggs.
do poultry, they don't do eggs.
Okay.
Type B does some meat, but they don't do chicken, they don't do pork. So you do your plant-based, you leave out corn and some other foods. You don't take tomatoes, there are certain specific foods that you have to buy his book to be able to know what foods to avoid. So the diet comes with a manual, sort of. So to be able to go through it, you have to get the book to know. And it's a popular book now. It's even in Ghana. So you get the book, then you know the foods that you are supposed to avoid. But generally, type A is supposed to be more vegetarian. Type B, you can have a bit of animal protein, but you avoid your chicken, you avoid your pork. Then for type O, they are more of doing the paleo. I don't know if you've heard of the paleo, but paleo is like high protein, has a lot of animal protein. So they do a lot of meat, they do a lot of chicken. I'm sure a lot of people would wish they are type O. So
Really? Now that people are conscious of their diet. Okay.
People want to, no, I'm saying it because people want to enjoy the protein, they want to enjoy their meat and other things.
Okay, maybe people would want to justify.
Yes, why they want to
eat more of these foods. Now I think that we are becoming conscious of our diets.
Yeah, definitely. So type O is more of a high animal protein based sort of, and they are allowed to eat beef and other kinds of red meat.
Okay.
The AB type, although type AB are the types that can eat seafood. So you can eat like fish, you can eat shrimps and oysters and stuff like that. And then you can have some meats in addition, but you still cannot have chicken.
Okay.
And then dairy products to type A cannot have milk, for instance. But type AB and I think type B can also have milk. So those are the restrictions that come with the diet. So if you are looking at the blood type diet, generally...
All right, Nana, before we go on, I think we would want to go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll detail more on the blood type diet. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
Introducing Cerelac Biscuity, the new baby cereal from Cerelac, with a great new biscuity taste that babies absolutely love. And of course, it's fortified with iron to support babies' healthy growth, just like all the other nutritious Cerelac flavors. Cerelac, big nutrition for small tummies.
Introducing the new Nivea Dry Impact and Dry Comfort deodorants. Now with quick dry effect and longer lasting fragrance. Guaranteed to keep you feeling dry and fresh all day, no matter the heat. Proven 48-hour protection and longer lasting fragrance with the new dry deodorants from Nivea.
Welcome back. Are you an organization or institution that needs nutrition or health education? Do you need to get your nutritional status assessed? Are you struggling with any diet-related condition? Call Optimum Nutrition Care Consult on 050-151-6186. You can also send your feedback and your comments to our Facebook handle at ONCGH or on Instagram at optimum_nutrition_care_GH. All right, Nana, we were talking about the details of the blood type diet.
So generally, when you look at all these 4 major categories that he places people in, you realize that the diet cuts out processed foods.
Okay.
So you don't take any sort of processed foods. It doesn't make mention of eating large quantities of fat, for instance. So the focus is on natural, healthy stuff.
Okay.
The only issue would be that he takes out specific food groups from certain blood types. So if you are on such a diet, you are going to lose weight because you are not eating junk. So it's not because of your blood type that you are losing the weight, but because you have, for most people, it will be a healthier way of eating than they are used to.
But are people on the blood type diet with the goal of losing weight?
Yes, there are people.
Oh.
That's one of the mainstays or the promises of the diet.
Okay.
So better digestion, weight loss, and then general health.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
No, I mean what people are doing. People who are really doing the blood type diet. Is that their focus?
yeah, so for people who would tell you that...
Like practically.
Yes, for people who will tell you that I have tried some diet, I've tried this, I've tried that, they would want to try the blood type diet as one of the means of losing weight.
Okay.
Yes, people try all sorts of diets. So that's one of the diets
what works better
yes,
for them.
To work. And you would find that for some people, someone may be on the blood type diet and may actually be losing weight. But the point is that it's not because of your blood type that you are losing the weight. But for a lot of people, if you switch to a vegetarian way of eating, for instance, you cut out a lot of the calories that are coming from your meat and your chicken and other things. So you are going to lose weight, not because your blood is not reacting with the food you are eating.
Right. So, as a dietitian, would you say that the blood type diet matters?
I wouldn't say it matters in terms of eating for a certain blood type.
Okay.
It's healthy eating that matters.
Okay.
So if you are, let's say, type AB, that is more liberal. They tend to have bits and pieces of every food group. But if you are type A, for instance, then the issue of your protein intake being affected and other micronutrients like your B12, vitamin B12, which comes from your animal proteins being affected, your iron levels, if you are not balancing your vegetarianism well, come in there. So I wouldn't put someone on the blood type diet because of the fact that it takes out specific groups of foods. Any diet that takes out a whole category of foods, it's not
the
advised.
best.
It's more about balance on your plate and then individualized. So you may find yourself doing the blood type diet and feel like you are in the best state of health. For you, that is okay. That is what you should do. But it cannot be said for the general population that all people who are type A should eat this way because their blood is going to clot when they eat food A or food B without any evidence to back that.
Okay, so are there current studies that have really monitored the blood type diet and its impact or effect?
So there are studies that have looked at lectins and blood agglutination, and that was what I shared earlier about certain kinds of lectins affecting some blood groups, but that is in the raw state, not in the state that we consume.
People don't eat.
You don't eat raw foods. You don't eat raw food. So that's why some of the trends that come up, for instance, you find people blending a lot of raw stuff, chewing watermelon with the seeds and the peel and everything.
The peel?
Yeah, people do a lot of things, trust me. Like eating things outside the way we are used to eating.
Okay.
Over-processing food is not advised. But it doesn't mean you should under-process and eat like you are a herbivore.
Maybe they want to switch. These days, people are switching to...
And our bodies are not designed that way. If a goat chews leaves and raw things like that, its body can deal with it. But the human body is omnivorous. It's meant to deal with different kinds of foods. Foods are digested differently. And foods release chemicals. That's what we have to understand. So if you are eating, whatever you are taking in is going to interact in a certain way in your body. So it's not everything that you hear that you jump onto. Oh, let's chew this one, let's drink this one. You have to be modest in your choices that you make when it comes to nutrition. And for whatever you want to take up, just read about it. If you Google, you would find a lot of junk, that's true, but there are also research-based, evidence-based sites or trusted sites that you can read certain things from and be able to make a judgment. Otherwise, just seek professional advice.
Right.
There are hospitals all around us. You can just walk in, ask, and you get the answer you're looking for.
Okay. So this question I'm going to ask seems like a repeat. But should our blood type determine what we eat?
No. Our blood type should not determine what we eat.
Because I saw a meta-analysis that said, even though the benefits to blood type is not really associated to because your blood type this and you're eating this is offering these benefits. It's because, like you said earlier, it's because these diets are healthy diets. And so definitely when you are on such diets, especially for some of these blood types, you're going to reap these benefits. So the benefits are not really because you are eating the foods for your blood type, but because the kinds of foods are just healthy. And so once you are on those foods, you are going to reap the benefits. So I'm thinking, okay, if people are going to be on the blood type diet and it's not going to take anything away from their health, then maybe we should let them go ahead and do it.
So I wouldn't say that the blood type diet doesn't take anything away from their health, because for you to be successful on the blood type diet, you have to be on supplements. So
is that recommended by...
That is the man's way to go. So you get on the diet, and then depending on your blood type, you get supplements that will provide
to make up
you
for the nutrients that they are taking
you're
away.
losing.
Okay.
So if you are a type A and there are certain foods you are not eating, your body needs those nutrients. So you have to have access to those supplements to make up for what you are losing. But in our parts of the world where people cannot afford to be buying supplements every time they are eating, you know, and then you decide to go on the diet, over time, you wouldn't see the effects in a year even sometimes. You have to be on it for some time to start seeing the micronutrient deficiencies. There are a lot of people walking around with symptoms of malnutrition, but as we feel like once you are skinny or once you are obese, that's when you are malnourished. But micronutrient deficiency, people have all kinds of sensations on their bodies, you know, and all those things people have their nails breaking, ladies have their hair not growing well, their skin is some way, and they feel like, oh, it's the cream they are using. Right. Sometimes it's the food we are eating.
That's true.
So we have to make sure that balance is there. Get all the food groups that you need. Otherwise, then if you are on the blood type diet without the supplements, then you are defeating the purpose. Over time, you are going to come up with some deficiency. So
it has to be done properly if it's being done, because the one who recommended, added that whoever is on the blood type, for some blood types, it has to go with some supplements.
But you see, so that's my issue with it's one study, and one study can be motivated by a lot of things. So I would look out for, is there any other person supporting this position? Sure. Is there any other article that has also researched into it? So this diet that is asking you, type A, for instance, to be vegetarian, is taking out the certain sources of plant protein that a normal vegetarian would have taken regardless of their blood type. So if your blood group is the motivation for you to be on that diet, then you are going to miss out not only from there are things that may not be on the plan you want to have, but other things that you would wish to have. Do you get it? So if you want to be vegetarian, for instance, you may want to add soya to your meals. You may want to add tofu or something. But the blood type diet will tell you that don't take this kind of beans, don't take kidney beans because you are this kind of blood type. So it sort of picks the foods at random. You don't trace any particular line where it's saying that, okay, if you take this kind of food, it agglutinates with your blood. So avoid all these foods. Apart from taking out major food groups, it also targets certain specific foods as well.
Okay.
So the risk of losing out on large doses of certain micronutrients far outweighs the benefit of being on the diet for your blood type.
Okay.
So it will be better to be on a general healthy meal plan, less of the processed foods,
Okay.
and then exercise. Plus, if you are eating well, you don't even need supplements. For a normal, healthy person, if you are eating well, you don't need supplements. So any diet that sort of forces people to get supplements, for me, it's just marketing.
Nah. You always get into trouble. On Healthy You segment today, Prince is asking, a friend advised me to drink olive oil to reduce my blood cholesterol. Is it good for me to do this? All right. So if you want to reduce your blood cholesterol level, there are two things you can do: diet and physical activity. So when it comes to diet, you can eat foods that are rich in fiber. So like our brown rice, like our vegetables, whole fruits, they help to bind to your cholesterol, and that's a way cholesterol can leave your system. And when you engage in physical activity too, it helps to increase the good cholesterol that you have in your body, whilst helping to reduce the bad cholesterol. And you need to reduce your intake of animal fats and fried foods. And these are ways that can help you reduce your blood cholesterol level. So your final words on your blood group and your diet.
So my final words are that your blood group should not be the motivation for you to be on any particular diet. Your health should be the motivation. And whether the diet you are on is able to maintain your state of health without putting you at risk of any deficiencies of any nutrients. And then physical activity is a part of whatever diet that you want to be on. So people want to eat in certain ways and lose weight without moving their bodies. And the body is not fashioned like that. Your body is fashioned to thrive, to put on. The same way we feed cattle so that they become big, and we rear chicken, we give them a lot of feed and all that. As you are feeding your body, the natural disposition of the body is to put on. So whatever you are taking in excess is going to be converted to fat. You are going to gain weight from it. So moderation is the key always, and portion control all the time, and then move the body. So those are the basic things.
Okay, thank you very much, Nana. This has been an enlightening session. So this has been the Wow Lifestyle Show. You heard everything about your blood group and your diet. The choice is yours. My beautiful hair, makeup, nails were done by AJ Hair and Makeovers. You can find them at East Legon, Upongloda, in the same building as EcoBank. My beautiful dress was designed by Loretta Unisex Designs. You can find them at Osu, East Legon, and Kokomlemle. And you can find their number on the screen as well. We record at Alisa Hotel. All you get is affordable luxury. Optimum Nutrition Care Consult. If you need nutrition, health, education, if you want to assess your nutritional status, if you're struggling with any diet-related condition, just call on 050-151-6186. My name is Helena. See you next time.